Hey everybody, this is Dr. David Phillips. How are you? Glad to have you here on JPTV. I'm here to unleash your health potential. Yes, I am. That's the title of the talk. And the reason why I titled that is because, we all have the potential to be better, right? Whether that comes from exercising or eating better or working on your spiritual life, whatever that is, it's an individual thing, right? And not everybody fits into, the same mold. And I hope that by the end of this talk that you will feel that improving your lifestyle, okay, no matter kind of where you are on the health spectrum, is not difficult, but it can have huge benefits. I mean, huge benefits. So, we know that the cornerstone of living a healthy lifestyle is exercising and eating properly, and that's what we're going to be talking about. In addition, we're going to talk a lot about supplementation, and specifically about whole food supplementation with fruit and veggie powder concentrates and capsules, and why it helps to bridge the nutritional gap. But most importantly, talking about the research behind a particular whole food supplement called Juice Plus, and what sets it apart from all the other nutritional supplements, all the other ones on the market today. And it's a substantial amount of human-based clinical trials or clinical research, which is, kind of my jam. So that's in essence, what we're going to be talking about. So the reason I say this and open up with this is that, one of my first medical school rotations, clinical rotations, was in the diabetic wound healing clinic. And essentially we would wrap Una boots, which are these, sorry for the gross picture, but it's these medicated boots that you would wrap around the ulcers that occur in people that have diabetes, whether type 1 or type 2. And I spent all day wrapping, looking at these wounds and learning about the pathology behind type 2 diabetes. But all along, and this is years ago, all along, we really never talked about why, in particular, something like type 2 diabetes happens. And it's because of lifestyle for a lot of people. Not everybody, but it is. And we were never really taught about, preventative medicine. And maybe if people ate better and made better healthy lifestyle choices, they wouldn't end up with diabetes. And this goes for the same thing for cancer and cardiovascular disease. It doesn't matter, lifestyle plays a significant role. And the reason I say that is because, and the numbers are getting a little bit better, but, medical schools offer only about 19 hours. So out of nutrition education. So really out of about 4 years of medical school education, you get about maybe less than 1% of nutrition education. So a lot of people, unfortunately, turn to their physicians for information about nutrition. They're probably not, unless they've had extended amounts of nutrition education, they're probably not the best people to really talk about nutrition. And I learned firsthand after competing in Ironman triathlons. This is a picture of my finish at the Ironman World Championships in Kona. And prior to that, I was just not knowledgeable about nutrition. I ate lots of fruits and veggies. I ate kind of the same ones all the time, but I thought I was eating pretty well. And I met and am now married to a woman who is taking a product called Juice Plus, which is fruits and veggies powdered in capsules. And it had a lot of research, and having a research background. I spent a year at Duke before I went to medical school doing research, was my jam. So I'm like, okay. I added that to my diet and was training for Kona, and I had an incredible race. The year before I did Ironman Florida, and which is one of the easiest Ironman courses in the world because it's flat. I did basically the same time a year later after taking Juice Plus. I did about the same time on the hardest course in the world. Okay, so just adding the catalyst of the variety, and this is the key I really want to stress, the variety of fruits and veggies to my diet through the catalyst to Juice Plus really helped me as an athlete. And what was even better is that there was a ton of research to back up what was happening to me physiologically as an athlete. So that was kind of my aha moment when it came to the importance of nutrition. But I always think of living a healthy lifestyle as a bicycle with two wheels. With one wheel being exercise, the other wheel being good nutrition. And, if one of those wheels is either flat or missing, then that bicycle's not going to go very far, is it? We know through the research that you need to have a combination of both of those to achieve a healthy lifestyle. So, this has been coined, this phrase has been coined a long time, that exercise is medicine, and it really is. And I like this, I found this on the internet, 7 days excuse me, without exercise makes 1 week, as in the play for the word week. True. And they found that leading a sedentary lifestyle is not good for you. They found that if you sit 4 more hours consecutively on a fairly regular basis, at the time, years and years ago, when they compiled these stats, that's equivalent to smoking about a pack of cigarettes a day. The health detrimental effects of sitting prolonged periods of time is equivalent to smoking cigarettes. Yeah, it increases cardiovascular disease by 125%. Increases, this is the scary part, increases risk from death from any cause by up to 50%. So movement is key. And for years, the research was showing that even if you sat a lot, even if you went to the gym, that you really couldn't make up for that deficit of sitting for so long. Well, this is really good news. This study was just published, hot off the press over the last few weeks. So they're really showing that if you just do 30 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity per day, it can attenuate or decrease that association between sedentary time and risk of death. So there's good news there. Okay. But the bottom line is, and I love this slide, that you can't compete with what you eat. If you go to the gym and you exercise really hard and then you go and eat and refuel your body at a fast food joint, you probably wasted a lot of time in the gym, okay? Because what you put in here complements what you did in the gym. So when it comes to eating healthy, really it comes down to eating fruits and veggies, and lots of them. The most recent epidemiological studies have shown that as you can see, that although even the recommending the 5 portions of fruits and veggies a day reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease and cancer and all-cause mortality, the point of this is that the best benefits, or the greatest benefits, came from those who ate roughly 10 portions a day. So when it comes to eating produce, more obviously matters. The issue that we have in this country, of course, around the world, and this goes from adults all the way down to our children, is about 90% of Americans don't eat enough fruits and veggies. That's the latest stats. And, even if you're a vegan and you're listening to this talk and you eat lots of fruits and veggies, what they're finding, and this is a study that came out of Stanford a few years ago, that the nutrient density of the produce that we're putting into our bodies is not the same as it was, 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago, even with good crop rotation. We're losing the nutrients in the soil, and therefore it's not being translated into that fruit or veggie, and then therefore not into our bodies. So even if you're eating lots of fruits and veggies, the nutrient density is not what it was years and years and years ago. So the lack of produce combined with the lack of that nutrient density really does set up the case for bridging the nutritional gap, which is kind of really what that is. And, what I was taught in medical school, and unfortunately continues to be taught a lot, is that the best way to bridge the nutritional gap is taking vitamin supplements, vitamin C, vitamin E, or multivitamins. But if you've paid attention to, research and things in the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, even just recently, taking vitamin supplements like vitamin E or C, or taking multivitamins really, in fact, has no effect in human physiology. And you can see from some of these studies that it can actually have a detrimental effect in human physiology, because the bottom line is we really don't have vitamin deficiencies in this country anymore. Okay, what we really have are whole food deficiencies. We should be getting our vitamins and minerals, but you should be getting them from plants, from food, that form that our bodies are meant to recognize and utilize. But really, health goes way beyond vitamins and minerals, you guys. It goes down to what else is in the fruit or veggie, what's in the skin, what's in the pulp, right? It's those plant chemicals, the phytonutrients, the carotenoids, the polyphenols, the flavonoids. Those plant nutrients are what confer health to your body, not necessarily the vitamins and minerals, but it's those plant chemicals. So when it comes to bridging the gap, it makes a lot more sense to bridge with food, bridge with whole concentrated food, whole food, versus what I call no food, which are these synthetic isolates like vitamin C or E that, short of a deficiency disease, our bodies really don't know what to do with. And so that's why I love this product, Juice Plus. And what sets it apart is a ton of things that we're going to get into. But this is the variety that you get, okay? And the variety is the key, again, because I speak to a lot of vegans, a lot of vegetarians, and again, I was kind of a plant-based guy before I started taking this, but the key is in the variety of colors as well as the quantity. I mean, who goes around eating bilberry, blackcurrant, and elderberry all the time, right? I mean, I don't even know where to buy those things, okay? But they're loaded up with flavonoids and all those plant chemicals that are so beneficial to human physiology. But I think you guys would agree with me, whether it's, there's a lot of knockoff products, there's a ton of stuff out there you see on TV. you see in newspapers, you see in advertisements. The supplement industry is really confusing. And a lot of what happens is that people, if they see that a product adheres to, CGMP, which is good manufacturing practice, they consider that that's fine. Well, that's really kind of a self-imposed evaluation or self-imposed thing that manufacturers have to adhere to make sure that their product doesn't contain contaminants or impurities. But this, again, that's kind of a self-police thing. What you really need is a third-party institution to come in and test your product to ensure that indeed it's clean and what's in it. And you can see I just put a couple of posts that came out, where you find contaminants in these supplements that say that they're clean. And that's what sets Juice Plus so much different, so different than all the other supplements on the market today. It's family farm grown, it's locally grown fruits and veggies, as you can see, for the best quality. And then it's carefully preserved, to maintain that nutrition and those fruit and veggie powders. And then it's NSF certified. We're going to get into that here in a second. But it's harvested, clean, juice blended, dried, and encapsulated. And the bottom line is, period, Juice Plus is safe. There's nothing you don't want. No herbicides, pesticides, irradiation, banned substances, preservatives. It's all the wholeness and the goodness of fruits and veggies in there without bad stuff. And I want to come back to NSF certification because this is huge. There are a few third-party certifications that exist out there that to test your product for purity. But this is kind of the big daddy of them all, NSF certification. NSF certified and NSF certified for sport. And that ensures that what's in the product is, like in Juice Plus, is fruits and veggies and doesn't contain contaminants. You have athletes that go and get tested and they buy a product at some vitamin store and they go get, tested for whatever it is, their drug test, and they fail it. And because a lot of these companies do not have this NSF certification. Well, Juice Plus does. And if it's not on the label, they can tell you that their product is certified and it's pure and it's clean, blah, 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 blah. But if that certification is not on that bottle, you can't trust. You're just going on, the words that you hear those people telling you. That certification, as you can see, is on Juice Plus. Because again, who knows? You could be putting fruits and veggies that are advertised in capsules somewhere else, and that could be some guy's clippings from his backyard that are in those green capsules. You don't know unless it's third-party tested. That's the key, and I stress that really heavy on this product. But again, like I said in the beginning, my kind of jam, because I spent years doing some research, and it's kind of my big thing, is what sets this product apart from any other on the market today, again, is the huge body of research. Over 25 years of research, over 40 published studies. It's been studied in 8 countries and 4 continents around the world. It's been studied at really prestigious institutions, and this was the other key. It's been studied at King's College in London, the Moores Children's Clinic in Jacksonville, MD Anderson Cancer Center. Vanderbilt has studied the product. And I hate this because I went to Harvard, but yes, Yale too studied our product. And we need a Harvard one in there somewhere. But anyway, these are high impact institutions with high quality research facilities. And I know that, and it's very impressive. They use also, the company uses gold standard methodology when they do their research. That means it's randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled studies that's done on the product itself. Not done in test tubes or on the individual things that are in the product, the entire product itself, which is key. They're human clinical trials that are not done, again, in test tubes, rats or mice. They're done in humans. It's very expensive. Published in peer-reviewed journals, which is key. Because it's screened by a panel of physicians and other scientists that scrutinize that study before accepting it for publication. And of course, the research is ethically done. This is kind of some of what the researchers found to this point. I'm not going to have time to go through all this, but Juice Plus has been shown to be bioavailable by increasing ORAC scores. It helps support immune health by increasing things like gamma delta T cells, which are fighter cells inside of our bodies. Reduces oxidative stress, which is what happens when oxygen produces free radicals in our bodies. And that can do some damage. So Juice Plus can reduce that. and research study, supports a healthy inflammatory response. And one of the latest studies on Juice Plus I just briefly want to get into is that they have shown that Juice Plus can alter the expressions of genes. Okay, and this is key. We're getting down to a DNA level. And it's called nutrigenomics, how nutrition affects our DNA. And the study came out of Australia. And what they found was that compared to the placebo group, the Juice Plus group had a reduction in cholesterol production in this particular study and a reduction in inflammation. That's just one of several other studies that Juice Plus has done where they've shown this. But what they did in this particular study is that they took a snippet of these individuals' DNA and they looked at the DNA and the switches on the outside of the DNA that turn genes on and off. It's called epigenetics. It's epigenomes. You know, you can't change your DNA because you're hardwired to it. But what you can do, and what lifestyle has been shown to do, exercise and good nutrition, is to switch those genes on the outside of your DNA on and off. And those levers kind of control whether that gene gets turned on or not. And what they found, and on the left side part of the slide is just a snippet of those genomes. And what they found is that compared to the placebo group, the Juice Plus group had a favorable modulation of over 1,600 of those genes that had to do with cholesterol production, that had to do with inflammatory pathways. And what was interesting, they weren't focusing on this in the study, but kind of in that paint the bars, they also showed that Juice Plus favorably modulated oncogenes or cancer genes, you know, turning cancer genes off and turning tumor suppressor genes on. Fascinating, right? And again, not making any claims here of curing cancer and all that stuff. But again, when you think about it, this company plays chess, okay, with research compared to other companies that do limited research playing checkers. You know, we're showing that you know, fruit and veggie powder, concentrated powders can modulate genomic expression. That is very, very exciting stuff. So that's kind of the future of medicine, and that's where we're headed. And again, these are just some of the journals that Juice Plus has been published in. These are very high impact journals, meaning they're very high visibility journals, and you can see them. Journal of the American College of Cardiology, Medicine, Science, and Sports and Exercise, which is my journal that I get. British Journal of Nutrition, Gynec, you can see the whole list. These are prestigious institutions that have done research on Juice Plus. And I don't have time to go through all of the research. You can find this online too, or you can have somebody hand you this book. This is full. Oh, this is like my, next to my Bible, great. This is just full of a bunch of good research information. So get with the person who invited you, they can get that to you if you're interested in kicking the tires somewhere like I did. And then I want to mention another product that the company has that I love, and it's the complete shake mix. This is a completely plant-based shake mix. The primary plant protein in here is non-GMO, water washed or low processed soy. And you can see it's got chickpea powder, pea, rice, protein. It's got lots of good fiber. It's gluten-free. You can see all that, low fat, non-dairy, no coloring, low glycemic, etc. And this is essentially what you're getting in there, okay? Plants, and tons of them in a huge variety, okay? This is the protein blend I just briefly mentioned. The powder blend that's got, you know, pomegranate, pumpkin powder in it, natural sweetener blend. It's got ancient grains like amaranth and quinoa, the sprout blend. And really key is a fiber of soluble and insoluble fiber blend and an enzyme blend. So all of this combined in both vanilla and chocolate, and there'll be other flavors coming out soon, taste unbelievably great. Trust me. Tastes like, I tell people, it tastes like a Wendy's Frosty. Not that I would know what one tastes like, but just ask my wife. Okay, just kidding. I do want to mention this because, you know, when I mention the word soy a lot, you know, lots of antennas go up. And the concern is because soy isoflavones have a chemical structure that's very similar to human estrogen. And the concern is that that if you eat soy or those isoflavones, that they will act like human estrogen. And that couldn't be any further from the truth. A lot of research has been done on this, and that was kind of what people thought years ago. But they have now got huge bodies of research, and from cancer researchers at Tufts and Columbia and Stanford and other institutions got together, looked at all the research on soy and its effect, particularly in people who have had breast cancer, because that's really the big issue for a lot of women. And they found that, and you can see, quote, we now have evidence that soy foods not only prevent breast cancer, but also you can see benefit women who have breast cancer. Therefore, we can recommend women to consume soy foods because of its many health benefits. Wow, big deal. And that is because, without getting too deep, isoflavones act as selective estrogen receptor modulators. So, you know, there's basically two estrogen receptors. There's an alpha and a beta receptor. And human estrogen preferentially binds to the alpha receptor, okay? That causes cellular proliferation. So in a breast cancer cell, you don't want that, right? And so that's where tamoxifen comes in, okay? It's given to breast cancer patients because it is a selective estrogen receptor modulator. It binds to that alpha receptor and renders it and blocks human estrogen from binding to that. Well, what's interesting is that isoflavones primarily, and the research has shown recently, primarily bind to that beta receptor, and that beta receptor is responsible for cellular anti-proliferation. And there is some research to suggest that it may even actually bind to the alpha receptor and help to block human estrogen as well, so it is protective. And so the bottom line is, here we go, phytoestrogens induce differentiation as well as inhibit angiogenesis, which is the formation of new blood cells, and cellular proliferation, both of which will help prevent tumor growth. So, you know, there's a lot of misinformation out there. You've got to stick to the current research. You saw that study was just published just a few years ago. There's a lot of misinformation out there. And then for my athletes, which is also my jam here, a lot of athletes think that because it is a plant-based protein, that it's kind of a weenie protein that's not, you know, strong or potent enough. It's not chicken, it's not steak or whatever, and therefore it doesn't pack the same punch. Well, in the complete shake, it has the complete amino acid profile. Okay, it is a complete protein is what I'm saying, including the all important branched chain amino acids. Specifically, and I've listed them in red over here, is isoleucine, leucine, valine. Those three branched chain amino acids are primarily responsible for building muscle. Okay, and they're all in the complete shake mix. And that really ties into to athletic performance, because again, a lot of athletes don't think that soy is a protein that's going to, you know, help you athletically. This is a brand new study that was just published, found that, again, you can see it, acute soy supplementation improves 20K, time trial performance, power, and speed. So it is extremely beneficial to athletes, without a doubt. And so when you combine the capsules with the completes, you know, we have in this company a huge amount of resources that are there to help you get to your health goals. And we have something called the Healthy Living Revolution, under which there are a bunch of different programs, one of which here I've just put on the screen, called Shred 10, which is basically saying, hey, you know, adding plants to your diet's a good thing. Maybe we can help you do a few other things, you know, depending on where you are in your health march. You know, maybe add a complete shake, drink some more water, try to exercise more, you know, drink less alcohol and caffeine, you know, don't eat after 6. The bottom line is, it's not forcing a program on you at all. It's you dive in wherever you want to, but the whole point is you have a net of support from this company that is going to really benefit you in the long run. And remember this, always remember to mind yourself that it's okay not to be perfect. Okay, this is not a perfect company. This is a company that does not expect perfection. It is a company that just wants to see you progress. It's progress, not perfection, right? And so this is basically the product line. Okay, it's a limited product line, all about plants. Okay, you've got the capsules. You have the Omega Blend. It's a plant-based Omega Blend, which is awesome. I wish I had 3 hours to go into the research with you guys on that. Yeah, the shake mix that I talked about, chewables for not just kids, but adults. Juice Plus complete bars for on-the-go snacks, healthy plant-based snack, and then the Tower Garden on the right. If you've never seen the Tower Garden, you should get some real good pictures of it, because growing your own produce in your backyard is just really, really awesome. And so I also want to mention that this company has got the support of a whole boatload of physicians and healthcare providers, not just MDs, but nurses, nurse practitioners, nutritionists, you know, people with high certifications, you know, support this product, support this research. And I note a couple of notables here. Bill Sears, Dr. Bill Sears, is America's pediatrician, is a good friend of mine, and supports this product. And Dr. David Katz, who's the head of preventative medicine at Yale, also a big advocate. So, this is just a limited number of healthcare providers. We've got them from all over the world who back this product, and they back it, and they come on board because they know what Juice Plus does. They know what it does in the human body, and they know that it's backed by research, by a whole body of research. And so really we are talking about empowering families, right? We're talking about making healthy choices because, in the end, it comes down to families. And, whether it's your child watching you eat Juice Plus and then eat healthy or exercise, it's great modeling for your children, because that's where health starts with our kids. And, we want our kids to be healthy and grow up to be strong and not have the kinds of diseases that perhaps a lot of us in our era are dealing with because of poor choices we made in the past. And that's not anything against us. It's just that we didn't know what we know today. We didn't have products like Juice Plus today, and we didn't have the body of research that we have today behind a product like this, which is exciting, obviously, for me. So that's just a really quick overview of what drew me into this company, drew me into this product. I'm just a real lover of good nutrition, doing the best I can every single day, and really realizing that no matter where you are in your health journey, we're here to meet you there. Okay, we're not here to look for perfection. We're here with a product that can act as a catalyst for you in so many ways. Not making any promises, but the research is very clear that it can act as a catalyst for every aspect of human physiology. And so with that, I hope you enjoyed the talk, and I will see you down the road sometime. Thanks so much.